Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to another Friday's edition. Thank you for tuning in. So, today I'll be sharing on something based on my experience. Okay, there was a time I actually needed God to do something for me. It actually involved two things. So, I went to Him and I was like, Father, I want your will on this thing. I want your will. I want your will. And after I made a prayer, God just told me, it was like, Dan, do you know, it actually came to me with the preferred. Your heart was saying something else. In as much as you were telling me that, Father, I want your will, in your heart, it was something else. And I can say that's actually true. And He told me that instead of you coming to me and saying, Father, I want your will, meanwhile, you want me to do things the way you want, just come to me and say, Father, this is what it is in my heart. I want it. What do you have to say about it? And, I had to sit back, I had to analyze everything, and I saw that what he said was actually very, very true of me. Because in as much as I went to him and I was crying that, Father, I want your will, I want your will, in my heart, among those two things in my heart, I wanted one of them. Even after the prayer, I was like, I already made plans on how I'm going to do with the one I had chosen in my heart. And that is where most of us Christians, we feel, we go to God and we are like, Father, I want your will, I want your will, but our heart is saying something else. If you read in the book of First Samuel chapter 16, you realize that when Samuel was sent to go and anoint one of Jesse's son, okay, he went to the house and he saw one of them, and he was like, surely this is God's anointed. But in verse 7, what did God tell him? God told him that he should not consider the way the other person is looking, his body build and all the like. He said he has already rejected the person, and he concluded by saying that us humans, okay, we look at the outward appearance, but God, he looks at the heart. Okay, so that is just to say that in as much as you come before God and you're crying that, Father, I want your will, I want your will, God is looking at your heart. What your heart is saying and what your mouth is saying, they are two different things, they are opposite. And God looks at the heart. He doesn't look at he doesn't listen to what you're saying. Okay, he looks at your heart first to check if what you're saying it actually matches with your heart. So we should stop going to God with the preferred. It's better you go to him and you say, Father, this is what I want. Okay, if you have two pens, okay, blue and black, go to God and say, Father, I want these two pens, but I want one pen among these two, sorry, but I actually love the black. What do you have to say about it? Rather than you going to God and you're saying, Father, there are two pens before me, there are two pens before me, a blue and a black. I want, what is your will? But in your heart, you want the black, and you've already made plans how you're going to use the black. It doesn't work that way. Stop going to God with the preferred. If you want his will, let your heart be empty. If you want his will, go before him empty and you say, Father, I have come. What is your will for me? Rather than going to him and say, I want your will, but your heart is saying something else. So we should stop that, okay? We should really, really stop that. And especially for especially for the youths, those that want to get married and stuff like that. You see a sister somewhere, Sister Vanessa somewhere, and she's your dream woman. Okay, your dream woman. You go to God and you start asking for signs. We should stop asking for signs, I beg you. You start asking for signs, and when you've asked for signs from God, that Father, if she is my wife to be, let this happen, let that happen, the whole night you keep thinking about her, and when you finally fall asleep, you start dreaming about Sister Vanessa. And when you get up, you're like, oh, God answered my prayer. Sister Vanessa is the one for me. And you go and you start frustrating Sister Vanessa somewhere, and you're like, Sister Vanessa, behold, thou said the Lord, you are my wife to be. God has not said anything, I beg you. God has not said anything, in as much as God can say it. But in that case, God has not said anything, I beg you. Because most of the times when we dream white is because of the thoughts that we entertain. Most of the times when we think about some particular things over and over. When we go to sleep, we are going to dream about that thing. So we should stop doing that. We should stop frustrating sisters somewhere. Oh, we should stop claiming that it is God's will when it's not God's will. And during that time I made that prayer and God told me this. He led me to listen to one man of God, and when I listened to him, he was also talking about the same topic. He said a sister would like a brother who is tall, he is handsome, he is dark, he has a car, he has a house. And she has even visited the brother, and the setting of the house, the kitchen, everything, the toilet is just the way she wants. And she'll be like, oh, this is God's will for me. And you go now to a pastor, and the pastor will be like, my sister, is it God's will for you? You say, God's will came to me. Meanwhile, it's not God's will. So we should be very, very careful, okay? We should be very careful when it comes to God's will. We have to be empty. We have to be blank. I will just go before him and say, Father, I don't know which way forward. Please lead me. Or you say, Father, this is what I want to. What do you have to say about it? If at that moment he says no, then it is no. If he says yes, okay, then he is going to give it to you. So, well, I don't know if you have learned something today, okay, but I hope you have learned something. So we should change the way we live, okay? We should change the kind of thoughts we entertain, the kind of decisions we take, going to God, asking for a sign, asking for his will, okay, and stuff like that. We should be very, very careful. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you were blessed. Okay, if you were, please leave a comment. Okay, give a like, share, and if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do as well. Stay tuned and see you in our subsequent video. God bless you.